When will the world see Allah? It's me today, it's you tomorrow. Of problems affecting us daily in this age and era. Of solutions that work. Opportunities are rising. Of territorial integrity. Of politics. Economics. Trending stories in our lifetime. Welcome to the Nation Watch. With the Malvin Kwaramba and the Munyaradzi Savanhu. The U.S. sent troops to quell a civil conflict in Nicaragua. The U.S. supported anti-Sandinist Special for all those who love their nation, its well-being and advancement. And allow me to introduce a man who does not need any introduction. A man who has published 16 books. And many are still in the cooking pots around the four corners of the globe. A man who has written his own Bible. He is on 415 chapters at the present moment. The gospel according to Maponga J.
States has been involved in military interventions and regime changes across the globe.
A musician.
The CIA orchestrated a coup against democratically elected president.
He taught me the kora and the harmonica, playing more than 21 instruments. A theologian. From St. Andrews University. Champion of radical thinking. Who nurtured more gospel ministers, radical preachers of the 21st century. A renowned Pan-Africanist who has traversed the four globes, the four corners of the globe, preaching about the Pan-Africanism ideology to people of African descent, based on our shared culture, struggles, and identities. Sose Changambire Marara. When he was born, his grandmother and his grandfather Joshua Marara Maponga Sekuru, they sat down and they said, this one looked exactly like his grandfather. And they decided to name him Joshua Maponga. And then they gave him that name. Up to this day, this man Joshua Maponga, who is with us in the studio today, he has written more books. He has traveled around the world. And he has opened a page. He has about 772 followers on Facebook, 1,000 followers on Facebook. He's the watcher from the future, living with us in the present and with solutions from the past. Allow me to take you to a caption before we kickstart this program. Bishop Maponga, a preacher, a former preacher. I don't know if you're a former preacher or you're still a preacher, but I believe you're a preacher of righteousness, a preacher of identity, a preacher of Pan-Africanism. I'll ask you this question. What did you mean when you said, in the fields of thoughts, our objective is to plant good seed and to weed out lazy thinkers to create new Africans? Let's start from there.
Thank you very much, and greetings to you and co-hosts and listeners around the world in your various diversities of thought, religion, and political persuasion. Life is a common denominator, and as such, we all living together. Farmers of Thought is founded on principles which I may want to say are rooted in my background, in my history, where I'm born in Bikita. I'm a single. My grandfather went to World War II. When he came back, then he bought that farm in Bikita. So when I was born there, behind the kitchen door, in the village, literally on the farm. The umbilical cord is somewhere on the ground there. So once in a while, I go home and I test the soil. Farming became an integral part of my life. And by the time I went to school to study in the field of psychology and sociology, I came across a principle they call behavior modification, where you pick up a concrete example, for example, a dog. And then you say to Munyaradzi, let's talk about a dog.
Mm-hmm.
What is a dog? Then you describe a dog, what it does, how it behaves. Then at the end of the day, I say, what similarities do you find in a dog which you are demonstrating?
Mm-hmm.
So you'll have killed yourself already.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you are talking about something that is outside, you are not merciful. You are objective, and you are as candid and as clear as possible. Only to discover later on, no, we're not talking about a dog. Actually, I was trying to talk to you. This is the ancient way of sending information, where you allow the person to discuss, interrogate an external factor, as it were. And after interrogating that factor, you're able to sidetrack that and move the data from what you're talking about to what exactly you intend to say.
Mm-hmm.
So farmers of thought. The brain is a farm.
Mm-hmm.
Your reproduction is a farm.
Mm-hmm.
The land is a farm. You cannot give a man land underneath his feet if he does not own the land between his legs and does not own the land between his 2 ears.
Mm-hmm.
And whoever plants in your head has a permission to harvest from it. The quality of seed that you put in your mind, ideas, information, how do they affect the other 2 estates that are with you? So when you read that statement, by nature, we're actually looking at the 3 estates. That our business, therefore, as social re-engineers who are here to transform the society, who are here to weed out foreign plants that have been planted in our heads. And we're trying to obscure foreign plants that may come out of us and be planted in our women and in our girl child. We're trying to weed out foreign plants in our soil that are creating genetically modified foods. It's a comprehensive statement,
Yes.
which I gave out of serious reflection and say, how do I begin to prevent a new frame of thought ideologically while you are planting? Be also thinking, what am I planting? While you are weeding, asking yourself, what kind of data do I need to remove from my head so that I can create space for the good plant to grow? While you are literally planting again, one worry, am I planting organic indigenous foods? So it's a comprehensive comment that says our business, therefore, particularly for me, is to produce farmers of thought.
Mm-hmm.
So you can hear now the word comes together. Farmers of thought. You are a farmer in your head. And if you're not plowing in your head, someone is plowing in it.
So in the context of Pan-Africanism, in the context of African consciousness, is this why you then ended up saying whenever you have a radical thought, your execution should be violent.
Uprooting weeds,
Yes,
it's not a gentle thing.
yes.
By nature, it's violent.
So,
Sex,
yes,
by nature, is not a gentle thing.
yeah.
It's violent. Thinking, by nature, you are invading into someone's privacy
Yes.
with data. It's not gentle. It's violent. And if you have an idea and you want to implement it, and you want to tiptoe around it, how can you do it? How can you approach a weed gently?
So Mr. Maponga, so you are saying,
Mister, I don't know. Maponga, I know.
oh, okay,
But
okay.
for you to
Or
be
Bishop,
Mr.,
or Bishop, or Bishop Maponga.
for you to be Mister, you must go to the Queen.
Bishop
Right,
Maponga.
okay,
Bishop
okay.
Maponga.
Now,
Bishop, I will
I
spare you.
wanted,
For religious purposes.
so Maponga Joshua, I used the Mr. deliberately because I wanted you to revert back to your Pan-Africanist what? Thought. So are you saying for us to effect change in Africans, we need to be violent?
I mean, I don't need to tell you that. Then why did you go to war? Why do you have military soldiers around the world? Why did guns burst through the skies of Zimbabwe to deliver liberation? Why do we have the hero's acre if no one is dead? Why? Why is America in Venezuela? Why is there war around the world in Cuba? Talk about Ukraine. Why are people carrying guns? Because guns get things done. Because only democracy seems to be this species that seems to only to understand the spillage of blood. Because my comment is simple. If democracy was the best thing for governance in Africa, then why did the white people make us fight for it? They should have given it to us.
Maybe we also
Should
need,
have given to us for free.
we also need to invite him again so that we talk about democracy.
Yes.
Yeah. Bishop Maponga, I call you Bishop. You are not there, Bishop. You are my. You're my teacher. No, you're always my mkoma. Magaramba mkoma wadi. So Mukanya. Mukanya. So you see, we have an issue here. We have an issue as Africans, and we want to bring it home. We know when you're moving around, you are preaching the pan-Africanistic gospels. You know, the gospels that talk about our shared identity, the gospels that talk about our shared culture, the gospels that talk about our shared values and struggles at the same time. These are the same thing that unify us. You are unifying Africans. And I've been following you. You have been talking about One Africa, your One Africa dream. But in this particular, discussion, or on this particular topic, we want to come down. We want to take things that are happening in the global village and we want to apply them to our own context as Zimbabweans. Hence, the formation of this Nation Watch show. We want to talk about Zimbabweans, issues that affect us as Zimbabweans. How does the Venezuelan invasion, the capture of Maduro by Donald Trump, when he was campaigning, he was saying, "Make America great again." That was MAGA. Make America great again. So we believe that by capturing Maduro, that's part of his foreign policy of making America great again. And America has not started now. It has many nations have been invaded by America. Let's talk about African nations that have been invaded by America under the pretext either of
Responsibility to protect. Libya 2011.
You see, yes. We talk about Libya and Gaddafi was killed. Then maybe let's talk about some other nations like Iraq.
We go back
outside
to
Africa.
Iraq.
Let's talk about Iran. America has always been actively involved in the affairs of other nations. But currently we are talking about the Venezuelan invasion and the capture of Maduro. How does it translate to the Zimbabwean person, ordinary person, who is in the streets, who is in First Street, who is in Chiendambuya, who is in Bikita? I saw you in Bikita. And we'll talk about Bikita some other time.
Let me attend. It's quite a comprehensive question. And I'll go slowly on it. And I blame Herbert Chitepo, your school of ideology. I want to blame the University of Zimbabwe. I want to blame the universities such as MSU, which have produced some of our spearheads in the political opposition space.
Yes.
And it's sad because it looks like the curriculum is so narrow in its scope. that it does not introduce the student to the global players and global politics, so that what you are doing locally, you are aware of the impact and the influence of what is happening on the globe. I would suggest for anyone who wants to get into politics, it's a must. We need to have a full subject on studying American foreign policy as a subject, so that we know that when they are sitting around planning their global influence, what are they looking at? Number one, they're looking at ideological influence. This stems off as early as the 1940s and the 1930s and 60s, when America is confronted with the USSR, the closed USSR, which was socialism, and America was coming with capitalism. And there was a war between socialism and capitalism.
Yes.
And America wanted the world to move towards capitalism,
Yes.
which would give them priority and preference over their business, capital, investments around the world, because the principles of capitalism and democracy are twins. But socialism was coming with a social empowerment wing, which give power to the people. This was give power to the business people. So you have an ideology. That's why Cuba ended up where it is. That's why some of the countries are being invaded, because they are of their inclination more towards socialism. Even on the liberation of Africa, you take note that of critical importance was that, are you a socialist or are you a capitalist? And if you are a socialist, then North Korea, China, and Russia were the preferred helpmates. If you're a capitalist, it was a bit complicated, because Britain itself and America were capitalists, yet they were the ones who were the colonizers. Now the question is, how would they sponsor your liberation when they're actually involved in your colonization? So it became a no option that many of the African countries ended up looking east and far north, which is Russia, for that liberation. Your question therefore begins to look at the impact of making America great again is within that greater space of capitalism. America lost its network with the Middle East. If it is not fully lost, but it is a bit fragile, particularly in the Middle East with the wars in Iraq, and their flow of oil into America is not as consistent. Venezuela, for those that don't know, has the biggest, largest oil deposit in the world. Venezuela. Now, when America has a problem and a crisis of fuel, what will make America great again if America does not have access to the very fuel, which is part of the development in terms of transportation and power supply? So the capturing of Venezuela, number one, before we can even do politics, forget everything else. Number one, it was oil. So America wanted to secure the source of the oil itself, which was Venezuela, which they've managed to do. Now, when you look at that in the line of Zimbabwe, you need to ask yourself the question, what is it that is in Zimbabwe? That will be of great interest. When America are talking, it's a very small word, but listen to it. We are protecting American interests. And when you underline interests, are those interests American interests? Are they not also our interests? Is what you are interested in for your benefit or for our benefit, or it is for your extraction and our exclusion? Or it is you saying American interest that at all costs, we don't care of the politics in the place. When there is something that we want, we will get it, and we'll make sure that the leader who is in power complies to our demands so that we can access it for free.
Let me hold you there, Joshua. You've brought up a good topic for discussion. You're saying it's about interests. Now, I understand that. So are you saying now that democracy, according to the Americans, is the Trojan horse for resource plundering?
Democracy is a prostitute of economics. It's viable.
Yes.
It's sellable. It goes to the highest bidder. South Africa has demonstrated it. The one who has money can run the politics. So politics is a subservient. Democracy with all its principles. The principles of democracy are founded on a constitution. The constitution is founded on the Roman Dutch law. Roman Dutch law defines who owns the land, who is the citizen, and how to treat criminals in your place, the whole legal framework, which democracy leans on. Does not have an African as a beneficiary of that policy and constitution. This morning, actually, I put something out for our young men, Chamisa. There crisis in Zimbabwe. We have a crisis of constitution. Say, hey, young men, speak slowly. You are educated. The very constitution I'm talking about is the problem. You cannot change drivers of a bus that has no wheels.
Let me hold
And
you.
argue, let's put another lead, but yet the system in which the entire operation is working on is non-mobile.
Let me hold you there, Mkanye. we'll come back to the issue of the constitution, the Zimbabwean constitution. Let me ask maybe it's not a complex question to you, but it's a composite. It consists of two questions, but in one question. Can we safely say now that America is on an neo-colonialistic overdrive? Number one. Number two, considering that, let's now bring it to Zimbabwe. Considering that America is the largest, the biggest American embassy in Africa is found in Zimbabwe. Should we be safe as Zimbabweans as we look at that? And is it also true, according to you, or what do you think about this statement that I coined, that America is on a neo-colonialistic overdrive?
Can I ask you a question?
Ask
No,
the
this
question.
will shock many people.
Mhm.
When last did President Robert Mugabe, when last did Honorable His Excellency Emerson Nambuzo Mnangagwa
Mhm.
enter the American embassy and walk in there and see what is there? Some military bunkers.
I think that's a question. This question is for us as Zimbabweans. This show.
And during the times of,
Yes.
opposition,
Yeah.
the money was being distributed from there. They are free to fly in their airplanes into this country, carrying bags and bags of American dollars to put them in the embassy there. Then they sponsor all these NGOs the way they want to sponsor them in your country and even create opposition within yourself. They're here. If I was in power, I would close that rubbish building in the country. I'll close it.
Okay, but Trump. Okay, but Trump, he came up with a policy where he stopped the funding of non-governmental organizations in some other countries.
I
What's the-
like that.
Yeah,
You close the function of none,
governmental organizations that are
but
funded by
governmental.
Yeah.
But governmental.
governmental.
You close non-governmental.
Oh, but the governmental part
Oh, of course.
is still going on.
The governmental, that's where the CIA sits. That's
So
where
Josh-
intelligence sits. That's where surveillance sits.
Joshua, with all you are saying, that what Munya has alluded to, say that America is now on a neo-colonial way of coming back to Africa and plundering resources. With what you are saying now, are we safe as Zimbabwe, given what happened in Venezuela to Maduro, that under the pretext of democracy, they invaded Venezuela and uprooted an democratically elected president and brought him back to America? Are we safe as Zimbabwe? Because this show is about Nation Watch and the effects of global events on our people. Are we safe given that we have got so many minerals in Zimbabwe? We've got oil in Zarabani. We've got lithium. I will not talk about the gold deposits. I will not talk about platinum. You know Zimbabwe is rich. Are we safe now from this animal of
I sit
neo-colonialism?
around and I cry sometimes that our blessings can be curses to us. These very minerals we talk about are going to create big problems for us. In case you doubt what I'm saying, America has already demonstrated its arrogance by getting into Nigeria.
Oh yes.
And Nigeria is the biggest nation in Africa. Biggest, 260 million, if I'm not mistaken, people. In America, all of it is about 289 million. So in terms of population, they're almost the same.
Mm-hmm.
And America has invaded Nigeria. And ask me why. Hiding under the guise of religious to protect
Right.
Christianity.
Yeah.
But in your democracy, you say people are free to worship.
Mhm.
So if people want to worship in Islam or in Christianity, why do you now come and, well, both these ones are killing people? But they're killing people, but if we go to Gaza, are they not doing the same?
They're killing people.
So which one is better? So, but we know Nigeria has rare earth. Nigeria has oil. And if America can invade Nigeria, what more about Zimbabwe? You need to go back then and find out why did the Queen of Britain name Zimbabwe the jewel of Africa?
Mm-hmm.
I'll make it easy for you.
Oh yeah.
Because Zimbabwe houses more than 462 minerals.
Mm-hmm.
You have only identified 82 so far,
Mm-hmm.
and you're struggling with 15.
Mm-hmm.
You have not even started. The Great Dike
Oh yeah.
that goes through this country,
Mm-hmm.
we have not even scratched the surface. Where South Africa was in 1842 in the gold rush.
Mhm.
That's where Zimbabwe is now. What you have seen Johannesburg being, it's a toy vis-a-vis what Zimbabwe will be with what we have in this country.
Mhm.
So are we safe? I'll give you an answer, which is a bit complicated. When you are in the sky, in the space, and you are looking for Earth, you look for the place that has the highest magnetic field.
Mhm.
Go and Google it. And for them to come back from the sky to come back to Earth, that magnetic field picks up in Zimbabwe. Okay. Then they know that's where Earth is. Although
That's an amazing fact. That's an amazing.
found minerals that were actually sitting on the grid dike. It gives them the magnetic field. And they know they can. That's where the world is.
Okay.
Is that a strategic position that America wants to have?
Oh, of course, of course, of course, of course.
Why?
Of course.
And by the way, without being too reckless, I want to challenge my honorable president. The fish has moved. The politics has changed. We can be happy that we have Starlink in the country and people are communicating and phoning. But Starlink is not for phoning.
Mhm.
Starlink is a satellite that is sitting above a country. While people are phoning, that's literally 0.5% of what the satellite is doing. The
It's not
satellite
tracking,
is
yeah.
literally scanning the whole country.
Yeah.
Where are the military bases?
Mhm.
Where are the trucks going?
Mhm.
Where is the airport? Where does the president sleep? Who is where? So all of us, because Starlink is right on top of us, none of us is without the eyes of the satellite. So my recommendation will be, Honorable President, Zimbabwe, Zambia, Botswana, Mozambique, Tanzania, neighboring countries, maybe 6 or 7 of you in the SADC.
Mm.
If you can put maybe 5-6 million each and be able to put up one big satellite
Okay.
and then block off other satellites from observing it. Because right now we're buying military weapons,
Mhm.
which are guns and bullets. But look at the war right now, it's moving
No,
from
yeah,
the ground
Of course. In
into the
drones.
sky. So
Mhm.
what are we doing? Literally, you'll be killed while before you even leave the house.
Mhm.
And that for me, that strategic thinking begins to tell you that what brought us here can't take us there. We need a new breed of politicians, a new breed of forward-thinking people,
Mhm.
the new breed of politics itself.
Mhm.
What we are fighting over here are expired things which are no longer relevant into the global village
Mhm.
in which we are moving in.
Mhm. Yeah, that's quite mouthful.
Yeah.
That's quite mouthful.
So are we safe? Question was, are we safe?
Yeah.
If ever you have oranges next to the road,
Mhm.
then you make sure that you sleep next to the road.
Mhm.
So that are the problems of a man who has a beautiful wife.
Mhm.
Did you hear me?
No,
Watounza maproblem.
You've solved one problem,
But
but you've created
more
many
problems.
problems.
Okay, so Joshua, still on that, we're still on Venezuela and its impact, right? We're looking at how America has used regime change and so as to, under the guise of what? Democracy. You even alluded to the fact that they sponsor the opposition to make sure that they further their interests. One tool that they've used more often is the aspect of sanctions to further their interests. Let's go back to Iraq, 1996.
Why Iraq? Why not Zimbabwe?
No, I want to take you to history, then come to Zimbabwe. History. 1996, the then ambassador of the US to the United Nations, Albrighton, had this to say. When asked about the 500,000 kids that died due to the sanctions of the United States, she was asked a simple question: was it worth it? And she answered saying it was worth it.
And Netanyahu, in his own words, he says, these kids that we've killed in the Gaza, they must be eliminated. Because 10 years from now, they will be terrorists. So kill them young.
Okay.
So that they don't even make it. It's justifiable.
And America folds its hands.
And America yesterday released a policy that anyone who criticizes Israel for whatever they do,
It doesn't.
they'll be deported and removed from the country.
We want to make sure that this show is as simple as possible to the common man in the streets. So we are saying, the point that you're saying is, when it comes to some other countries that are American allies, like Israel, it's allowed to go ahead and kill people freely and murder and massacre, annihilate nations, and America doesn't intervene
It helps
on
you.
behalf
That's why it helps you.
on behalf of human rights. It helps you, right? It actually assists you. It's your aid. It sponsors you. But when it comes to a nation like Nigeria, I'm still coming back to Zimbabwe. When it comes to a nation like Nigeria, people are killed, but because of its resources and because it's not an American ally, it comes through because there is a benefit attached to it, right? And when it comes to a nation like Zimbabwe, probably less are killed or maybe none is killed, right? And that it comes through because of interests. Is that what you are saying?
Let's put context. Let's put context. Honestly, Mugabe, for me, represents the epitome of European hypocrisy. The epitome, the climax of it. Of course, I cannot get into detail to the death of Tongogara, to the death of Chitepo on the evening of the liberation struggle. And the words that Tongogara said to Davengwa before the Lancaster, that actually resulted in his death, where Tongogara was anti-American and the British tolerance, but was actually advocating that we cannot negotiate with the terrorists that have been worrying us. And Britain was heard saying, if you include him in your government, why not William sign the treaty? Zimbabwe played a very stupid game. They had won the war. I don't know why they ate the bait that said, let's come and negotiate. What, I mean, if I've beaten you, I've beaten you. Then what am I negotiating with? No one negotiates so that the estates, the businesses that are belonging, they can be protected. And they left the snake alive. And it has not died since. Coming back to the contribution that we are bringing in. What was the question? Quickly on the back.
My question was cherry picking. When it comes to Israel, which is murdering and annihilating nations, America is actually a right-hand man of Israel. It's supporting. It's silent. Says when it's
the interest,
pushing the
the interest that you're talking about.
Yeah.
The question is, when you are looking at these interests, then you understand that actual interests are business interests. Mugabe ended up where he was. 40 doctorates and degrees that were given to him at the peak of his administration. 40, because he was playing by the book. Let's negotiate. Every 2 years or a year, he would fly into London to resuscitate the contracts. No, we're still okay. Until Tony Blair came into power. And he had pressure from the workers' union. That why are we taking so much money out of the British government and sponsoring and paying another country, a third world country out there? We are not benefiting from our people. Tony Blair was misinformed because some of the military generals of Britain had been given retirement packages in Zimbabwe. As pieces of land, as part of their retirement plan. And Britain was going to be compensating for the land, which had been given to some of the British people. This history you need to know before we talk about land invasion. And then Tony Blair wakes up in the morning and says, we will no longer pay. We will no longer be involved in subsidizing the Zimbabwe government. And Mugabe said his famous statement, keep your Britain.
And I'll keep my Zimbabwe.
And I will keep my Zimbabwe. Look what happened from the day he said that. And the fast tracking to the result of sanction. Look at the media propaganda, the books that were published from a hero to a tyrant to what the whole downfall happened because of one thing. He touched on land. And once he put his finger on land, the entire business empire of the British crumbled. I'll explain it to you as young people.
Oh, yes.
Because you know, the bank is founded on land. Law is founded on land. Housing and property is founded on land. So what happens is that when a man is given land and there's a piece of paper by the law, the Constitution, which allows him to own the land,
And to govern.
the man then takes the piece of paper and walks up to the bank and say, I am the rightful owner of this land. And here is the paper from the law, and here is a paper of deeds. Can I please have some money? How many millions do you want? What's the value of your land? So many millions. We can give you so many millions. And the man accesses finances to do whatever he wants to do. 10% for the farm, the rest of it, take it and invest it elsewhere in the world. And land is what goes short. Land is the only estate is the only real estate,
Mhm.
land. And when you therefore remove land from the custodians and the constitution
Mhm, mhm,
and you give it to the people,
mhm,
these people that were owing money to the banks,
mhm.
the banks themselves had land in their hands
Mhm,
for people that have failed to pay back
mhm.
their loans and the agreements that I want you to understand why Standard Bank closed in Zimbabwe. Why other banks that were here, the old mutuals and the rest of them, ran away from Zimbabwe? Well, it was no longer productive to do business.
Mhm.
The very thing that they used
Mhm.
to access the money through the
Sure.
bank
Mm.
had collapsed. The carpet was pulled
Oh, yeah.
underneath their feet. And the whole international community, the Anglo-Americans, the loaners of this world, they closed in Zimbabwe and they ran away. Why? Because land is the only estate. And when you tamper with that,
Mhm.
you have cut off the umbilical cord of
Mhm.
capitalism, which is access to finance using land as surety.
So are you saying America is coming through for our land? And what should we do as Zimbabweans?
America, right now, the whites that were here, and they were removed from here due to land. Last week, I think, I saw a poster where they've gone to the American government, asking the American government to put pressure on Zimbabwe so that they can get their 3 billion compensation or have their land back. They call it their land.
Mhm. Mhm.
Their land. They want their land back.
Mhm.
So America is already cooking a strategy of how does it make sure that its fellow white people
Mhm.
are taken care of. So that the problem right now is Zimbabwe, and it has created a problem. I mean, I don't have to teach you politics.
Oh, yeah.
South Africa yesterday,
Mhm.
how many weeks ago, a few white people, hey, well, we're being killed in what and what and what.
Oh, yeah.
The whole American policy, foreign policy, immigration was put in the dustbin.
Mhm.
Put them in an aeroplane and send them through to America.
So Joshua, on the aspect of sanctions, are sanctions a coercive tool for those that refuse to play ball? For example, in Zimbabwe, where we took our land back, or they are a tool in courts to say there's been abuse of human life.
Why do you say in courts? Just say, are they a tool?
You must go as young
Championing human rights.
go as young people and find a book entitled The Economic Hitman. The Economic Hitman will outline the American foreign policy in terms of accessing resources in other countries. Their strategy begins off with NGOs, which are just meant to walk around and raise alarms, collect data and information, and start sponsoring opposition politics. If that is too slow, then they come to diplomatic ties, which are visas and etc. to begin to restrict you. If that doesn't work, they move over into taxes and tariffs,
Mhm.
where goods that are coming from your place are altogether cut down. Then when they move in further, they move into ASAP, economic structural adjustment. Now, when they get there, they know now that you cannot afford your bills as a government. No money is coming in,
Okay.
and your goods are not going out. So your economy is now shrinking from inside.
Mhm.
You are now you have become a junk state, like Zimbabwe.
Mhm.
And because of our stubbornness, there's never been inflation in the world like Zimbabwe. We're 111,000%. It has never happened anywhere in the world. That my mother became a trillionaire. I kept some of that money in my hand. And next time you pray to be a millionaire, just make sure you specify currency. Maybe the million. But when they introduce what they call economic structural adjustment, which is actually a project program under IMF, International Monetary Organization, that's when now they are coming in directly and they are running your government. They say, okay, we have $10 for you. You are going to use only $2 for that. You're using $4 for that. And take note, while they're doing your budget, they not put nothing in the military because people are more important than military. By so doing, they begin to weaken your defense,
forces.
against yourself. When that fails, they go head on for sanctions. They now cut you off the radar. And with all that is, people are now restricted from going and etc. The last move is sponsor someone inside to do a coup. And when that fails, Venezuela, directly go there and do a regime change yourself. Go kill the leader, Afghanistan. Go kill the leader, Iraq. Go kill the leader, Libya. And then put someone there. And I can tell you now, on camera, the whole world can listen. There is no place where America has taken over, removed the regime, killed the government, killed the presidents, and those countries are better off today. Go to Libya, you cry.
You've been to Libya recently.
cry. You cry. The ghost town. That place was a paradise. The whole desert was watered. Biggest canal system in the world. Go there. The city of Tripoli is sitting in ruins. And America says, this is democracy.
So, is Trump coming through? Is Trump coming to Zimbabwe?
What people don't know about American policy also is that every move that America does, they take years to plan. See, when Obama killed Gaddafi, that thing of Gaddafi was agreed in 1972. When 72, 78, I can't remember, when Gaddafi shot that plane in Okabe.
Oh yeah,
Just going to France.
of course, yeah.
And the NATO made an agreement in the ruling then that Gaddafi is an international terrorist. He must be exterminated. A program was put into place as to how to take him out. And when Obama was in power, the time had arrived. Particularly when he started talking about the Africa coin, uniting African currency into the coin. And then the question you need to ask now, which I want to make worldwide, everyone must know. Let's not worry about how, as much as we do worry about how Gaddafi died. But the real question is, what happened to the gold that was in the vaults of Tripoli?
In the Libyan vaults, okay.
There was a daylight haste by the NATO and America to lift up and loot the gold directly from the vault. We need to find out where that gold is.
Just wait a moment, Mkani. You have come up with a term that is of interest to me. Looting. Right. Who are the best looters of Zimbabwean gold? Are they native Zimbabweans? Are they our former colonizers? Are they foreigners? Who are the looters, the real looters of this?
The illegal miners in Zimbabwe have been the colonizers. Well, they started doing this before even independence. Gold has been moving out of this country ever since the white men came here. But when whites were doing it, it was not a problem. It was called an economy.
So when you call black Zimbabweans, let me say black Zimbabweans, Rigananda, because they have now realized.
I like that word, Rigananda.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful word. For whatever it means on the derogative side, it's one thing. But on the real side of business, I was in China. The Chinese do business with Chinese.
They own the means of production.
People, they own means of production, they own the government, and the business community supplies services to the Chinese business, Chinese businesses supply the government and feed the government with the money so that the government can continue the cycle. Chinese people run the economy. Singapore, the Singaporeans, business people, and they supply services into the government. America, the Americans supply weapons and etc. and business due to the Americans. The British, the Lord Soames, the Lord Cunnington, the Lord, they supply their government. They own their economy.
So you are saying,
come to Zimbabwe.
So you're saying the Chinese economy
is owned by China.
Has made the Chinese people rich.
Yes.
The Singaporean economy has made the Singaporeans rich.
Dubai.
The British economy has made the British people
rich. Dubai.
American economy has made the Americans rich. When it comes to the Zimbabwean economy,
no Zimbabweans must be rich.
Zimbabweans rich.
No.
Then there's a question.
No Zimbabweans must not be rich. He must not be rich. The white man must be rich. And he must be aware this propaganda is not coming from amongst us. It is the external media, multinational medias, and the white community that are around that no longer have access to the economy, who begin to infuriate amongst other people. No, you see, they're eating, and they're eating alone, and you're not eating. But when you were eating Mikos, when you were eating Old Mutual, when you were eating Standard Bank, when you were eating Lonro, when you're eating Anglo-American, who told people that those ones are eating? Do they mira but nguva yaSmith paka wakwa University of Zimbabwe, nguva yaSmith paka wakwa Mibapa, vapanenda koMutare, vapanenda Brewery, vapanenda Victoria Falls, kukavakwa Brewery yose, Harare ikavakwa, Gweru ikavakwa, madhorobha ose atinoona akavakwa, maisapplaiwa hurumende, maisapplaiwa
by World Tradition.
ndiudze muzimbabwe one
Asians,
ndiudze muzimbabwe one wakaita contract nehurumende yenguva yaSmith.
It was the what?
But it was what?
would you safely say now, right? Would you safely say now, I think now this, as he's sitting on this hot seat, would you safely say now,
And it's getting hot by the way. It's getting hot.
would you safely say now, America, right, and the Western world are seriously against black empowerment?
It goes without saying, because black empowerment comes at their disadvantage. It breaks the cycle of their ownership. You see, let me give you this one's a nice one. You're going to appreciate this one.
Oh yeah.
Colonization is a failed project. I'll clarify. Because it is founded on slavery. It is founded on thuggery. It looks like a good model, but practically it's not sustainable.
It's not.
I'll explain. Munyaradzi, you are Zimbabwean. And you are British. Even I think you're looking like dressed up like that. In India, I'm the multinational company.
Oh yeah.
By being multinational, it means that my nationality is here and I'm also allowed to function here.
Yeah, of course.
So you, Britain, you establish your factories in Manchester, in Luton, in Dunstable, and etc. You build up factories for making tools and cars, the Range Rovers and what. You need metal, you need iron, you need what. And these factories, and this is where your workers are. This is the British economy, the labor force, and the factories and the industries. Then the government is waiting, of course, collecting taxes from here. And this economy is running well. You, Zimbabwe, you have Cisco Steel, which is producing raw iron ore. But you don't have factories. And I'll make sure that you do not build a factory here for making cars. I will sign a treaty with the government that we will employ your people. But please give me the steel. And the steel must go to the industries of Britain. You, your business, will pay your workers who are digging. I, the multinational company, Cisco Steel, I will move the steel to him. So his economy keeps on going better. You become laborers. When we come in as Pan-Africanists now, and we look at Comrade Mnangagwa in the eye and say, every time you're moving raw material out of this country, you're moving out jobs, you're moving out industry. We are losing more because we are moving 600,000-700,000 tons of steel to go here. When they come back, they come back with 6 cars,
and lithium,
which are equivalent to all the tons of iron ore that we have sent out. We are sending out thousands of tons of cotton into Europe and into Asia.
and lithium.
You cannot tell me that Zimbabwe can become a junkyard of selling second-hand clothes. We're sending off first-hand cotton. First-hand cotton.
Yeah.
Toita mpedza namo
Pitch your tent.
wokutenga zima underwear zima body zvechembere zvakafa necancer zozadzambwa ndo market here. How do we send off first grade and then receive second hand?
Joshua, you were talking about America being built by Americans and producing millionaires and billionaires. China being built by the Chinese, producing billionaires in their own backyard, and Singapore as well. Now in Zimbabwe, when we produce millionaires and billionaires, they are given names. Like we were saying, Zviganandas and everything. And recently, if my memory serves me right, one of our millionaires, successful businessman, Kudakwashe Tagwire, talked about protecting certain sectors of the economies and industries for Zimbabweans so that Zimbabweans can benefit. Indigenization. Then we had the ZANU-PF spokesperson rubbishing that talk. Now, what's your comment on that?
That's a deep one. Both of them are well known to me in various circles. But I think that was a bit of a miscalculation on the part of our spokesperson, with all due respect to Honorable Mtswangwa. Because what I heard and what I read of the resolutions that were passed at the Mutare Convention was that let's isolate our market share so that we can actually empower the local people. many of these people that are coming from outside, when they're applying to come into Zimbabwe as business people, they are coming in as investors. And there's a minimal threshold that you can, for you to get a visa or to get a permit, you must invest so much money into the economy. Now, when we begin to open up spaza shops to foreigners, when we begin to say you can come from outside the country and you can sell eggs, you can also get involved in fuel which are small businesses, relatively speaking, from the amount of money you are promising that you're bringing into the country. And I think Nkoma was quite in order, because he was not saying his own things.
Who is Nkoma?
Nkoma Tagri.
Okay.
Yeah, he was, I think he was being objective. He was actually reporting on what the party had agreed on, that let us keep the smaller businesses so that the young people can get involved in the economy. Those that are coming in as investors, let's then move into the bigger spaces so that we can secure the market for the young people and for the upcoming market. And I think for me, that is the norm around the world. That's the norm around the world. You don't go anywhere in the world and do whatever you want, however you want. You need to, if your visa says you're coming here to do X, Y, Z, then come here and do X, Y, Z. You can't say you're going to bring 100 million. Then you are seen selling potatoes, kumbare. It doesn't make sense, because by muscle and by financial muscle, you're going to push these people out of business. So I think it was correct, and actually I beg to be corrected, but I stand with what Dr. Taguri said. It is sensible.
I'll divert a bit, but I'll come back to my original question. We have Zimbabweans in the diaspora. You're sitting on the hot seat. That's why
You're
you are
sitting on the hot seat, and you're an oasis of knowledge. So we need the nation to make sure that they grasp.
We have Zimbabweans in the diaspora. And we have also seen people like Julius Malema. He's sympathetic towards Zimbabweans. We have opened even spaza shops in South Africa. Why can't we also allow foreigners to come through to Zim and we treat them as they are also doing to us? Or likewise, in the same manner.
I was going to respond that question should be answered by the political party that made that ruling of excluding. I was just commenting on the comment itself, where it was spoken and how it was responded to. But when it comes to unification of Africans, and I think we are clear, we don't have, let me actually be blatant clear. The problems are not Africans per se. The problems are Pakistanis. The problems are Chinese people who, when they come into our African space, they want to get involved even in small little businesses and etc. Which, as far as Africa is concerned, a reckless statement I can say on any day that all African governments are illegitimate, because they are founded on the Berlin Conference, which was illegitimate. Now, how can you say you have a country called Zimbabwe when Zimbabwe was drawn by white men to say the borders are here and they stop here? So Africa is our country, Zimbabwe is the province. Okay, then from today on national TV, I can say, I can, because I can. And that what we call our president of Zimbabwe must become the governor of Zimbabwe province. And let's all the governors come together and please give us a president. And one that is sorted. Then he will not ask me the question of the African.
Okay, Mkanya, I want a quick takeaway, Mkanya, before I ask him my last question. This is the second from the last. Now, an ordinary person is in Zimbabwe, and speaking like a political activist, I can say Zimbabwe is politically volatile. People are at each other's throats. Somebody will say, I am strictly opposition, and somebody will strictly this. What is your advice in as much as protecting our resources is? And where should we converge and say, gentlemen, we have seen what America has done to Venezuela. We have seen the damage in Libya. And the damage does not affect the ruling party or the opposition. It doesn't benefit anyone.
You've grown, young man. You've grown finally. This young man, when I first met him, it was amazing. His man was in You are doing party politics. Move your mind from party politics to national politics. Parties come and go. but the country remains.
Mm-hmm.
And the weak part is when you have dogs in the house, you can go hunting and kill and then take all the nice meat and eat. And you can throw the bones to the dogs and the dogs will be happy. Fighting over bones. And I think
So we are fighting over bones.
politics in Zimbabwe,
Mhm.
as I look at it, without being too controversial, it is poor people fighting over bones. If you want to do politics, come to me. Young people, I want to challenge you, come to me. I'll teach you politics. Many people think that I don't understand politics. I do. You want politics? Bring me 10,000 youth right now. We march to Zimplatz and we stop those trucks from leaving the mine until a factory is put
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
We march to Bikita. We close Bikita Minerals
Yeah.
until lithium batteries and
Are
solar
made here.
panels
Are made here.
and chip and solar chips are made here.
Uh-huh.
We march to the borders, Kazungula and Beitbridge, and we block and say,
Close the border.
no more
Close the
truck
borders. Yeah.
leaves the country. If you want to do politics, and that politics is beyond ZANU-PF, is beyond MDC, is beyond the CCC, is beyond the new
information
new
there.
age, new information, the party tray. There was the new way information, new way movement. This is for me is national building. Now here I'm ZANU. And what and you this, to me, and I'm saying it looks like a bunch of dogs fighting over bombs.
So you are saying
You want meat?
let's unite and defend our
You want
country.
meat?
Yes.
You want meat? Then there is the meat.
Okay. So are you saying, especially the young people, they should unite and radically fight for what rightfully belongs to them?
Give your
Fight for the
government,
birthright.
give your government the agenda.
Okay.
Because right now the government is sitting comfortably. Ask me why. Because they have very good relationships with these companies. The government is happy to receive 14% tax from the mine. And they've signed an agreement together that will give you 14%. And they shook hands. But if the people can wake up right now and say, we don't want 14%, we want 20%, will the government not benefit also?
It will.
Then what's the problem? We are leaving our
Say we want
government.
90%.
Our government is too comfortable.
90%. We want 95%.
If not all,
Yeah.
I want it all and I want it now.
So Joshua,
So the quality,
Yeah.
and again, without necessarily inciting any violence, the quality of our politics and the quality of our conversation depends on the quality of information we've received as young people. You've been told to hate each other, and be this on the protecting the government, this on the government is us. And if the values and the appetite of the government is less, are people happy with that? And if we are not happy, we can actually help ourselves by using our own system. Mugabe was not happy with the land organization. So tell me right now, did only ZANU-PF benefit from land?
No.
The whole country benefited. So we need to improve the quality of our appetite for success. And then the quality of our politics will change.
That's change.
now the question is, how then, remember there are laws in the country.
So that kona nini? My laws are on tadarika kuma laws. What did you have to tell constitution? Because you tell not
Constitution.
the law that says
Eh.
in Zimbabwe you cannot be seen
Eh.
walking carrying a diamond or carrying gold. Nina?
You're right. You're very right.
Wakanyogba rini mtemo uyu.
Wakanyogwa ne waro.
1932. Were you there? Was this law written to improve the life of a Zimbabwean, or it was meant to cut off a Zimbabwean
Separate
away from resources?
from
Now
you.
here we are in
There is- yeah.
2026, and we have a minister of mines sitting there implementing the law that says
Oppressor.
a Zimbabwean cannot carry diamonds in the country. Iye achibva kwachiadzwa wanga achirima munda make ndokubonderana nediamond. Madiki kuinda pamutemo paya mukati munhu atende kugara nediamond mamake mazuva anodarika mazuva 26. Kana wari wana hwerako, tora picture,
That's good.
secure your product.
Oh, yeah.
Chinda kunzvimbo inotengesa hweiri ugotengesa zvakanaka.
Munya.
We cannot all of us have licenses of mining.
I see you are agreeing with Joshua.
Of course.
But
Of course.
this is what ought to be. But we are living in reality iripo. Yekuti mutemo yacho ndo yatiri kushandisa. iyo yakanyorwa nevarungu yacho and 1934.
Malvin, I think if I heard him correct, he tried to run away from it. Whenever you have a radical thought, that's why I asked that question. Whenever you have a radical thought, your execution should be violent. should be violent.
That was the opening statement.
This is a statement that comes from him. When remember, I mean, we are not going to ask him another question on this one.
Yes.
Whenever you have a radical thought, your execution should be violent. That's number one. And number two, he said, when it comes to our means of production, our land, this is our blood.
Yes.
Right? I mean, he said so. These are nuggets from this presentation. We have to die for these things, right? We have to die for radicalism. When it comes to, this is our land, right? Chinese will die. You won't own land in China. You won't own land in Britain, right? But those guys, they'll fight and die for that which they believe in.
Yeah. Remember, the first Chimurenga was because of land.
Yeah.
Second Chimurenga, because of land. The third Chimurenga, because of land. Now we're getting into the fourth revolution, where we're saying we need to get back what belongs to us.
And they also added, Malvin, they also said, give me 10,000 youth today, and I'll teach them politics. He said so. Give me 10,000 youth today, and I'll teach them politics. Much
are the youths of Munya, this is for you now.
Oh yeah.
Are the youths of today ready for radicalism?
That's a discussion.
This is for you.
That's a discussion.
Now imagine in closing. Imagine if our youth who are into politics had this understanding, and then they become councillors, they become senates,
They become
members of parliament.
Yeah.
When a bill is brought, do we renew the Zimbabwe permit?
We don't.
Then the youth will stand up and say, the 14% that is there no longer works. Can we please increase it to X? Now we don't need to fight. We don't need to use violence. Now we can use the government policies to transform the country to what we want. So what am I saying? The bunch of our politicians are uneducated, ill-informed, and their agenda items are on party politics. They don't understand. We need informed youth. We need farmers of thought in parliament. Then we need a because when the face is beautiful and the software is not working, hardware is. When a country is beautiful and the leadership and the quality of their politics is misinformed, their resources go elsewhere. That's why we say as old people, the vagina of a drunk woman does not belong to her. It belongs to those that are sober. But I'm not calling for women abuse. I'm saying when a country is drunk.
Oh, no, we hear you.
When a country is drunk,
those that are
as
sober.
it sleeps and lives, is like
Those that are sober,
those that are sober
who exploit it.
will come and have a free show.
I've gotten wisdom here. He is saying laws are there, but if our youths take up the mantle, get into politics, they'll make the right decision.
But they radically get into politics.
Yes.
But we must give them agenda.
Yes. The agenda comes from you.
I must give them an agenda.
The old man.
I volunteer
Yes.
to give the youth of this country
An agenda. And the youth should be willing to take.
The youth will then give an agenda to those who are in power.
Yes.
ZANU-PF is not a problem. We can, as young people, get into ZANU-PF and take over ZANU-PF and take over the government and do what we want with the government. But right now, if we put in new young people in government, Zimbabwe will be worse than it is. Because they also want to steal money. They also want to go to Dubai. They also want to continue looting what the old people are doing. And the country will not change. We need a new politics in this country. And I'm not embarrassed to say this. The quality of our leadership, the parliaments and etc. is defunct of ideas of how do you transform a country. That's why we've been getting for 57 years. My heart bleeds.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, this is Nation Watch. And we are with Bishop Joshua Marara Changambire Sose the third. And today we have been talking about the Venezuelan invasion and the subsequent capture of its president, Maduro. And we, like students who have sat down under professors and teachers under the new curriculum, Education 5.0, we want to bring it down to Zimbabwe. When we see things happening around the world, we want to relay them, we want to bring them to the Zimbabwean situation. How do these things affect Zimbabwe politically? How do they affect the ordinary person economically? How do they affect us socially? So we've been having Bishop Maponga Any closing statement? And I know you want to say, I'm the watcher from the future, living with you in the present and with solutions from the past. Any takeaways before we...
What brought us here will not take us there. We came here by bus. We are now facing the sea. Those who have sentiments around how beautiful the bus ride was, try and take your bus onto the water. You'll drown. We need a new form of transport. The agenda items must remain focused, but the means of transport to get there. We can no longer deal with guns and viva slogans. The politics we need now, we need economic terrorist soldiers, economic terrorists who understand the global functions of systems, cyber issues, cryptocurrencies, and where this cashless society is going, and position our country, build systems now that will survive in the next 100 years. We can't be talking about 2030. It's too close, man. We can't be talking about 2060.
It's too close.
What are we going to be doing in 100, 1,000 years from now? What systems will we put in place as Zimbabweans? And this is where we come in as watchers from the future. We have stood there in the cyberspace, and we've seen the history of this world where it is now. We also see the history of the past where we're coming from. And I'm telling you, if you're going to come here, not with this quality of thinking, you're going to become manure in the global village. Because Chinese are coming as Chinese. Indians are coming as Indians. Americans are coming as Indians and Americans. I wonder on the global village, when we get there as Africans, what are we going to arrive there as? Bunch of coconuts, brown on the outside,
The white
white
inside.
on the inside.
Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. For me, Munya Savanhu
And Malvin Kwaramba. See you next time.